tide of suffering. The plight of women in DRC's war zone, the Democratic Republic of Congo, a land of breathtaking beauty, yet ravaged by decades of conflict. Nowhere is this tragedy more evident than in the lives of women. They are the silent victims, bearing the brunt of a war waged on their bodies and souls. Near Goma, a sprawling city in the east, a humanitarian crisis unfolds daily. Hundreds of thousands of refugees, displaced by violence, seek refuge in overcrowded camps. Many arrive with nothing but the clothes on their backs and stories etched in pain. These camps, intended as sanctuaries, have become breeding grounds for further suffering. Women in particular face an unspeakable reality, rape used as a weapon of war. The statistics are staggering. Médecins Sans Frontières, the medical humanitarian organization, reports an overwhelming surge in sexual violence cases. Their clinics, stretched thin, are struggling to cope with the sheer number of women and girls seeking help. The stories these women carry are harrowing. Many have been subjected to unimaginable brutality, often witnessing the murder of loved ones before being violated themselves. The physical scars are just the tip of the iceberg. The invisible wounds, the psychological trauma, run deep, threatening to shatter their spirits. Inside the camps, a fragile haven amidst chaos. The camps, while offering some semblance of safety, are fraught with danger. Overcrowding, lack of sanitation, and limited resources create a breeding ground for disease and despair. But it is the threat of violence, ever present, that hangs heaviest in the air. Armed groups operate with impunity, preying on the vulnerable, particularly at night. Fetching water, using latrines, even searching for firewood in the nearby Virunga National Park become perilous journeys. The vulnerability of women is amplified within these confined spaces. They live in constant fear, their movements restricted, their voices often silenced. The trauma they carry is compounded by the daily struggle for survival, the lack of privacy, and the uncertainty of their future. Imagine their reality, sleeping under flimsy tarpaulins, haunted by nightmares, their bodies aching with unspoken pain. The threat of disease looms large, with cholera and malaria lurking in the shadows. Food is scarce, and clean water even more so. Children, often witnesses to horrific acts, bear the invisible scars of trauma, their innocence stolen. Bearing witness, the unsung heroes of MSF. Amidst this darkness, glimmers of hope emerge. Organizations like MSF provide a lifeline, offering medical care, psychological support, and a safe space for women to begin to heal. Dedicated doctors, nurses, and counselors work tirelessly, often in dangerous and emotionally draining conditions. They bear witness to unimaginable suffering, providing not just medical treatment but also a compassionate ear, a shoulder to cry on. One such individual is Irenge Trezor, a psychologist with MSF. Irenge has dedicated his life to providing mental health care to survivors of sexual violence. He understands the profound impact of trauma, the way it can shatter a person's sense of self. With gentle patience and unwavering empathy, he helps women confront their pain, rebuild their lives, and rediscover their strength. He listens without judgment, offering a space for their voices to be heard, their stories to be validated. Seeds of hope, resilience, and the long road to recovery. But the burden of care takes its toll. Aid workers like Irenge often experience secondary trauma, absorbing the pain of those they help. The constant exposure to violence, the sheer scale of suffering, can lead to compassion fatigue and emotional burnout. Yet they persevere, driven by a deep sense of humanity and a commitment to alleviating suffering. The resilience of the Congolese women is nothing short of remarkable. Despite enduring unimaginable horrors, they find ways to cope, to support each other, and to rebuild their shattered lives. Within the camps, women form tight-knit communities, sharing their stories, offering comfort, and drawing strength from one another. They understand each other's pain in a way that no outsider ever could. This sisterhood, this shared resilience, becomes a powerful force for healing. It is in these acts of courage, in their determination to survive and rebuild, that we see the indomitable spirit of the human will.